Shalom Aleichem, Ya'akov, Shepard here from King David Tomb, KingDavidKabbalah.com, and we continue with the introductions to Kabbalistic meditation. We spoke about the concept of worlds a little bit, the concept of the Sfirot a little bit, and we said that we're going to speak also about the PARTZUFIM. So, PARTZUFIM is a little bit more complex, but for me, one of the examples that I'm using is that the Sfirot is like atoms and the PARTZUFIM are like molecules, meaning the structure that builds up from the Sfirot. Okay, there's many other ways to explain it, but let's say that the Sphira is something that is more simplicity and the Partzuf is more complexity. Okay, there's another thing is that the PARTZUFIM is more with interaction one with another. There's more kind of relationship that one PARTZUF is giving to the other PARTZUF, and there's movements of abundance from one to another. Also by the Sfirot you can say that, but in the PARTZUFIM it's more developed. So we are using a parable of like a family when we're speaking about the PARTZUFIM. So we have like a structure of a family, okay? And again, it has nothing to do with our physical understanding of those concepts, okay? So when we're speaking about like Abba, Ima, which is like father and mother, okay? It becomes to be a little bit odd because it sounds a little bit like Christianity, and I hate to sound like that. But the terms that we have in all of the books of the Kabbalah is Abba and Ima, okay. But so it's very important for me to make that point that we're not talking about anything to do with like parenting of physical that we know in this world. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. And we're talking about a parable, like a concept. Yeah. So there is a conceptual connection between the terms that we're using and what we're trying to speak about. But it is not identical. It's not the same thing. So, for example, we have Abba and Ima is giving birth to Zeir and Pin and Nukba, which is like the children's. That are like the couple that needs to grow up and to make their own family, kind of. Okay. And basically the idea is that with the meditations we need to build up the abundance of those PARTZUFIM, of those structures, build it up to a point that it will be ready for unity, like young couple that they need to grow up and get all what they need to be able to get married and to produce children. So also here we want the Zeir and Pin and Nukba, we want to bring them the abundance that they need, that they will come to unity, and from the fruits of that unity is abundance that comes to us, to our world. Okay, so it can be new souls of human beings that are born in the world. It can be physical, spiritual, emotional abundance, joy and happiness and prosperity and health and all of the whatever it is that we have in our understanding that is abundance for us, is basically abundance that goes through the PARTZUFIM and comes to us. And that's basically the reason that I left it to last to speak about the PARTZUFIM, because there is a certain sensitivity here, because the world is so attached to al-worshipping and putting images on spiritual concepts. It makes it very complex, very, very hard to speak about the PARTZUFIM. anyhow, to make it simple, we have the four worlds, and within each one of the worlds we have as if the family of the PARTZUFIM that are in that world. Okay, so we have like the grandfather and Abba and Ima. Grandfather is Arich and Pin, so we have Arich and Pin, Abba, Ima, and Zeir and Pin Nukba, which is the smaller PARTZUFIM, the bottom PARTZUFIM, that we need to work on their tikkun and to bring them to their unity. So we have that in the world of Asiyah, Yitzira, Bria, Atzilut, maybe even by Adam Kadmon, but like basically that's but the Rashash does speak about it, but in the Rizal doesn't really speak about it, so let's put it aside for now. Okay. Now, like we said about the Sfirot, that there is different kinds of structures, so for sure about the PARTZUFIM we can say that, even more so. Yeah, so what I said now is the most simple, basic structure. Okay, that we're talking about the 5 PARTZUFIM. Again, Arich and Pin, Abba, Ima, Zeir and Pin, Nukba. Okay, and that's like the 4 letters of the Yud K Vav K, Yud K Vav K, but the tip of the Yud is the Keter, is Arich and Pin. Okay. So, what is the difference again between, if I'm saying that Arich and Pin is the Keter, so what's the difference if I'm speaking about the Keter of the Atzilut, for example, or Arich and Pin of the Atzilut? Yeah, sounds like the same thing. If I'm saying that Arich and Pin is parallel to the Keter. So the answer is that when I'm speaking about Sfira of Keter, it's like one dot, one point. And when I'm talking about Arich and Pin, so that point have been developed, okay? It been extended. So it becomes to be a whole structure, right? Like I said before, that the atom joins together with other atoms and becomes to be a molecule or matter that is like the molecules that are coming together. So each one of the PARTZUFIM is enclosing the higher ones, meaning Arich and Pin is the Keter, so this is the, let's say, the highest one of each world, right? So Abba, which is the extension of Chokhmah, and Ima, which is the extension of Binah, is enclosing Arich and Pin. Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna like give all the details now of how exactly it fits in and what goes where, but just the basic concept that they are enclosing Arich and Pin, and then Zun also clothing them. So then it becomes to be like a whole structure of each world that the PARTZUFIM are enclosing one another. Okay, it's not like the Sfirot that each one is separate. Okay, the PARTZUFIM becomes to be a whole structure. That was the point. And then, after we understand like the structure, so then we need to understand the transformation of abundance from one to another. So, to keep it short for today, and as you know, just to give like a basic concept for meditation, I'm not going to give like the practice of the meditation, but just like the direction of what we're going to speak about, B'ezrat Hashem, further on, that every Partzuf needs to elevate certain parts from below and bring it up to the higher PARTZUFIM. And the higher PARTZUFIM, in response, they bring down abundance to the lower Partzuf. Okay, so like you see, there's an interaction between them. That each one is giving the other something that he needs. Okay. So there's a kind of a relationship, and basically our meditation, in a way, is encouraging that interaction, that relationship. Like within the meditation, we are building this relationship. We are building that transformation of abundance from below up above, and from above back below. Okay. So whatever is the momentum of elevation from below up above, that we call man, which is Mei Nukbin, feminine water, and the abundance that comes from above, below, we call Mad, which is Mei Duchrin, which is masculine water. Okay? So those two concepts of man and mad are very, very fundamental, big, solid concepts that is foundation of many, many meditations in the advanced meditation. Okay? So for example, here in this book that I published, the last one, they published the Sidur Yereh Rashash, which is the Sidur that I'm praying with. In a way, you can say that almost all the meditations that are there are somehow or man or mad. Or we are initiating elevation from below up above, or we're drawing abundance from up above down below. Okay, so and in basically almost all the meditations that we have in the Sidur Rashash is one or the other. The momentum of ascending and descending. Okay, and obviously there's many details there and all kinds of different conditions that need to take place to allow that to happen and so on and so forth. But that's a lot of what's going on in the advanced meditations of the Arizal and the Rashash, and B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem will give us the privilege and the opportunity to speak about more and to explain it better. B'ezrat Hashem. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.